Good afternoon, and thank you all for attending our Lunch and Learn session. My name is Adeline Ganesh, Marketing Manager at Secu, and I will be the moderator for today's session. As Secu continues to strive to be a one-stop shop and offer our members convenient services under one roof, we have partnered with CUNA Caribbean Insurance to add to our product portfolio the Family Critical Illness Plan. This plan will be made available to our members from today. Joining us today is Jonelle Williams, CUNA's account executive for Secu, who will go through the details of this plan and explain how this can benefit you and your family. Please feel free to place your questions in the chat, and we will answer all questions at the end of this presentation. Jonelle, I now hand it over to you.
Thank you, Adeline, and good afternoon, everyone. Adeline, you can let me know when you are seeing my screen.
Yep, all good.
Yeah. Okay, so good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining the session and sharing your lunch hour with me. I'm going to take you into what is the Family Critical Illness Plan and how this works and what benefit this plan can be for you and your loved ones, right? So as Adeline said, let me just go opening my presentation. Right. So this plan is now available at Cannings Employees Credit Union. And I am just going to give you some facts about what caused us to create a plan like this. So basically, first of all, my name is Jonelle Williams. I am from CUNA Caribbean Insurance. We provide insurance for the credit unions. And why the company would have created this product is that we sample with it as a rider on the family indemnity plan. So those of you who are familiar with the family indemnity plan, you may be aware that you have the primary insured on that plan have access to a critical illness rider where they can get coverage for critical illnesses, right? The company, we would have done some research as to the feedback for members on that plan and what if they found different health facts, they took in different information from members as to what they would like to have on this plan. I'm going to share you some of the health facts that they found from that research, as well as just some current information in terms of our health facts in our region, right? And this is what kind of contributed to us creating a product like this for the membership. So non-communicable diseases, also known as NCDs, they are now the major cause of health problems, replacing communicable diseases of the 1960s. Studies have shown that colon cancer is the third most common cancer worldwide and is on the rise globally among persons in their 20s, 30s, and 40s. There are over 210,000 new diagnoses of breast cancer in Latin America and the Caribbean, and nearly 68,000 deaths annually. 81% of deaths in Latin America and the Caribbean are due to non-communicable diseases, two of which include cardiovascular disease and cancer. Heart disease is the leading cause of death in TNT and is also the leading cause of premature death in both men and women. And TNT has one of the highest cancer mortality rates in the Caribbean. So this news is that I'm sharing this with you, hopefully not to just provide gloom, but just to show you some of the information that would have gone in for them, realizing that within our region, there is a need for a critical illness product. There's a need for us to look and look in terms of what coverage we have for our family members, what measures we can take and put in place to protect us, right? So I'm going to go into a scenario of someone who has this plan, right? Just to kind of bring home in terms of some face value in terms of what this plan can do for you, right? So this is meeting Sarah here. Sarah has a contract position and she was pursuing her master's degree at Exeter College, and she was unfortunately diagnosed after just purchasing a new vehicle at her credit union. Right, so that's unfortunate. So just above there, some of the information in terms of Sarah's financial situation. Right, so she's aged 34 years. Her current savings, she has 12,500. She just got the diagnosis of colon cancer, unfortunately, right? Luckily, she had this plan. She had a coverage of 100,000. Her monthly premium is $73. Sarah has a car loan. Remember, she just purchased this vehicle, right? It's $2,300 a month, and her living monthly expenses right now is $3,500. So this is Sarah's situation. Thankfully, Sarah had the family critical illness plan, right? But my question here would be, we're seeing Sarah's information. How would Sarah be able to handle this diagnosis financially if she didn't have the plan? Now, she's only paying $73 for her coverage. Thankfully, as I said, she has it. She'll be getting a 100,000 lump sum, right? In terms of her recovery, let's say for the next couple of months while she's under recovery, she can't work, right? Sarah has her bills to pay. Right, and this is where having a plan like this will be able to assist, because upon diagnosis, you get the lump sum payment, and then that will be able to cater not just for your health expenses, but your daily living expenses while you recover as well. So she can comfortably here be able to recover at home, do whatever treatment, right? Handle her expenses, and she wouldn't have to worry about, well, how am I going to do this? Right? Let's think about if Sarah didn't have the plan. How would she be able to cater to all of these things? Right? And that's the idea that came around having a family critical illness plan. So it's not just for you, but it's be able to cover your family, right? So that if, God forbid, any of you have unfortunate diagnosis of a critical illness, you will be able to comfortably make a claim, get your payment, and be able to handle the expenses, right? So now I'm going to go into what is the family critical illness plan and how it works. Right. So what is the Family Critical Illness Plan? It is a group critical illness insurance product that will provide a living benefit, which can be used to cover medical expenses of a primary insured plus 5 eligible family members. There will be a 6-month waiting period during which only claims for illness due to an accident will be paid. So again, those of you familiar with the FIP will know we call that a death benefit plan, right? This is a significant difference because this is a living benefit. This plan is catered to help you survive and recover from the critical illness, right? Again, you can cover yourself and 5 other persons, so a total of 6 persons can be covered under the plan. And when you now enroll, there's a 6-month waiting period. During that 6 months, if you are diagnosed with one of the covered critical illnesses and it's due to an accident, you will still be entitled to the benefit. So what critical illness are covered? Based on the research, they would have found that they really wanted to be able to cover the illnesses that are relevant to our region. And these are the top 6 critical illnesses that they found are very common within our region: cancer, heart attack, stroke, paralysis, major burns, and coma. And the benefits of the plan. Now, the premiums are calculated per person based on your age and the coverage amount, and that total is the total of each person, right, is calculated, and that 1 monthly premium will come from the primary person every month, and that will be covering the medical expenses for the member and up to 5 eligible family members under the plan. No medical examination required. Normally, to get coverage under critical illness, you have to undergo some kind of medical. We just taking some medical questions, but you don't have to actually undergo a physical medical. Members are eligible to receive the full benefit per person where valid claims are made, and coverage is until age 75 once you enroll before the age of 60. The premium for each coverage amount remains the same throughout the lifetime of the certificate for each insured person. So let's say I sign up today, right? I say I want to get 100,000 coverage and the premium is coming up to $100. That means for the life of that certificate, because I have coverage until age 75. So until age 75, that premium remains the same for 100,000, right? And you can purchase additional coverage up to the maximum. The maximum is 300,000. When you first enroll, the most you can go up to is 200,000, right? But after the first 6 months, you can go up, you can purchase additional coverage to go up to 250,000 or 300,000, right? So let's say you start off the plan, tomorrow, you're going to Cunnings, you say, okay, that was sounding really good, I want to have this product, and you start with 50,000. Let's say by next year, you decided, here, what, I really want to upgrade the plan, I want to get some more, you can do that, right? And this is one of the most exciting features, I think, on this product, because oftentimes persons will sign up for something and they always ask, well, okay, when the plan comes to end, so I getting back nothing. And the good thing about this plan is that once it is that you reach the termination age on the plan, so I would have said you enroll before 60 and you have coverage until age 75. At age 75, that's considered a termination age, right? And for kids, they alone, they will come off the plan at age 26, right? So that is also considered a termination age. At those 2 points, if no claim would have been made for the person, you will be refunded 50% of all the premiums you paid over time, right? So essentially, you're getting to enroll for a critical illness plan. God forbid you're diagnosed with a critical illness. Well, thank God you have the plan, you have this, you're able to get the lump sum payment. If not, you still be able to get back some of your money at the end of the term of the plan. And something else that is really good, a person who have been diagnosed with a critical illness previously, they can get coverage with the remaining critical illnesses covered. So normally when it says you are diagnosed with a critical illness, you would have had, let's say, God forbid, you had a heart attack or something in the past, right? You're okay now, but it's difficult for you to get critical illness package because of the fact that you had that diagnosis before. We are saying that we're still able to cover you. We will not be able to cover you for that particular critical illness, but you will be able to get coverage for the remaining critical illnesses, right? And so that's it in terms of benefits and in terms of who you can cover. Now, I would have been saying it's yourself and 5 other persons. It's just the same as the persons under the family indemnity plan in terms of who you can cover, just a little difference with the ages, right? So the primary insured who has not yet reached age 60, their spouse or significant other who has not yet reached age 60 again. Remember, all persons must enroll before 60, right? And any combination of 2 parents consisting of 2 of the primary insured parents or parents of the primary insured spouse or whom at the time of enrollment have not yet reached age 60. So basically, I'm enrolling, it can be 2 of my parents I can put on the plan, or 2 of my spouse's parents, or combination as in 1 parent from me and 1 parent from my spouse, right? But 2 parents. And unmarried children, ages 1 to 25, again, children come off as soon as they turn 26, right? And then permanently disabled children will have coverage for the duration of their life once they enroll before the age of 26, right? You just need to bring in whatever medical documents or so just to show this disability. Yeah, and that's in terms of who can be covered. And special features on the plan. So with this plan, you can increase your coverage or you can reduce your coverage. And also we have a reinstatement clause. Sometimes that person may go into some difficulty also in terms of the payments of the premiums. We allow that, let's say for some reason you go into difficulty, right? And your plan has been cancelled, right? You have a 3 months window where if it is that you will cancel and you're able to bring up those summer funds that's outstanding, then we'll be able to reinstate you in the plan and you wouldn't have to re-enroll and redo any waiting period, right? So that's just an extra feature on the plan here. And right. So in terms of how to enroll, right? So we have our enrollment form, and going with the enrollment form, there are some supporting documents that we need, right? So we need certified copies. That means copies that the credit union will sign and stamp for us, but they need documents of a valid form of identification for all enrollees, a proof of address for all enrollees, birth certificates for the member and their children if applicable, marriage certificates as well if applicable. And for common law relationships, we can accept a sworn affidavit just confirming the relationship, and then we'll be able to cover common law relationships, right? And this is just a snapshot of what the form looks like, right? But all of this will be done on the credit union. They'll take your information. Again, you're not doing any medical or so, but they ask him medical questions, right? So this is just an example of the medical questions that will be asked on the form to get an idea basically of any pre-existing condition. So you're going to be asked, have you been treated or diagnosed with any of the following? And you will identify yes or no accordingly, as well as if you received in the last 5 years any medical attention, surgical treatment, or if you have been hospitalized, right? You identify that to us. And there is a clause as well in terms of persons who maybe AIDS or HIV virus, they have that diagnosis already and they want to get a critical illness plan. They can access it, but how it works is just a clause that you need to have the plan for a continuous 5-year period. Once you do, then if it is that you are diagnosed with one of the critical illnesses after subsequent to the 5-year period, then you would be entitled to the benefits. So you need to sign up for the plan. You have it for continuous 5 years, and after which, if it is you have a diagnosis, you will be entitled to the benefits still. Yeah. And in terms of the premiums now, right? This is an idea of how the premiums look like for persons. Now there are two tables. On top is the primary insured, that's the main person on the plan. This is what their premiums look like. I hope everyone could see clearly. So basically, you would be able to determine the premium based on the age of the person and how much insurance they want. Now, remember I said the most you can go up to when you now enroll is 200,000. So you look at the table there, you look at the age, you look at that column there, and then you go across to determine how much coverage you want, and that will be the premium. So for example, let's say I am 37 years of age, right? And I want to get 100,000. I look at the 35 to 44 there, and 100,000, that 150 is what my premium will look like, right? The table below is for all other persons on the plan that's going to be covered, right? Their premiums are slightly discounted, so it's a different table of premiums there. So again, you look at the age and then the amount on the insurance coverage, that's how much their premium would look like. Yeah. Everyone is so quiet. I hope you have a lot of questions because that takes us to the end of what the family critical illness is like and how it works and the different benefits under the plan. So now is when I'll open the floor to questions.
I'm seeing that Asha has a question.
Yes.
Asha, you could probably unmute your mic and ask your question. Do you want to type your question in the chat then, and I will read it out for Journal? So, Journal, I have this question. What happens if a person dies before making a claim or reaching the age of 75? Does the beneficiary get any payouts?
Right. No, you have to actually, if it is that you made the claim and then you pass away before getting the benefit, then the benefit will be paid to the beneficiary. But if you didn't get a chance to make the claim, then unfortunately, no, you wouldn't be able to get the benefit under the plan.
A follow-up question from Asha. So, meaning if no
Yeah.
critical illness arose?
Sorry?
Meaning if no critical illness arose?
Right. No, meaning if no critical illness
Arose, if the person had
arose,
no
yeah, but
critical
no, if
illness.
it, no, okay, so if it is the person passed away before 75, right? That was the part of the question there. So if they passed away before 2075, then they didn't reach the termination age, so we wouldn't be able to make the refund. And if it is that they didn't get to make a claim and they passed away, then no, they wouldn't be entitled to the benefit. But hopefully, in that situation, they had at least the FIP. So in terms of that, the family will be able to get that benefit.
All right, we have another question. Carol G1, maybe you could try unmuting and ask your question.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So you must be, you have to do this before you turn 60.
Correct.
There are no exceptions.
No, unfortunately, no.
Well,
You must enroll before 60.
this is the sad part. Once you pass that age, you get a lot of trouble, you know,
Yeah,
getting insurance.
Yeah, that's the thing about it. Critical illness is something that is it is a product that often you'll find that persons only, as you get older, then you realize the importance of having it and the demand for it. But it's so high risk as you get older that they, like across the industry, there's a cap in terms of when you can enroll. There's a limit there because of the fact that it's so high risk.
Okay, thanks.
Welcome. Any other questions?
Sorry, yes, we have a question from Celine
Yeah.
Felix. Can the primary and additional insured have two different coverage amounts? Example, the primary at 200,000 and additional at 100,000.
So that's a very good question. Yes, you can have different amounts. However, no one can have more coverage than the primary person. So I am taking it out to cover my family. I have 100,000 coverage. I cannot assign 200,000 to my spouse or child or anything like that. They can have the same as me, or they can have lower than they need, or they can't have more than me.
All right. Another question from Kushma. When you die, will the plan die also? What if the beneficiary continues to pay for the plan? Will it remain active?
So remember, this is a living benefit, right? So when you pass away, essentially, like, let's assume you're the primary person and you pass away, the coverage for you would end basically, right? But if you had other persons on the plan, right, the certificate itself can remain active once the premiums are still being made. The coverage for the remaining persons can continue.
Okay, I have another question. What time frame do you have to wait after being diagnosed with a critical illness for the payment?
Right. So when you now enroll, you have the 6 months waiting period. After that, then you can basically, if you diagnose, you make a claim or so. The turnaround times in claim, once you get all the information, you're looking at around 2 to 3 weeks, so that you should be able to get the lump sum payment.
All right, while we are waiting for other questions to come in,
Yeah.
Is this payout specific to medical expenses associated with the diagnosis, or are all incurred expenses? Could you use the payout for all incurred expenses similarly to the FIP?
Yes, you can. So, like in a scenario where I would have provided for Sarah, right? We saw that's why I broke down to show the different expenses she had, and if she didn't have a plan, how was she going to be able to do all of those things, right? So it really captures, because it's a living benefit. We recognize that to recover from a critical illness may not just require your medical course alone, but maybe, let's say, you need to hire transport to take you to and from the hospital, right? just to cater for your different your household bills or medication. Or let's say you had a critical illness, let's say with a heart attack, it didn't require anything in terms of financial to recover from that, but you still get the benefit. It's your money. If you just decide to treat yourself to vacation after that, that's on you. We make the payment available to you at a lump sum payment. We don't ask for any bills or anything, right? So that lump sum will be made available to you.
All right, thank you for that. I have another question. If you have a
Yeah.
pre-existing condition, will that affect your benefits?
Yes, it will. So pre-existing conditions bars you from being entitled to the benefit. Once you do let us know on the form in terms of the medical questions or so, if it is that you have been diagnosed with some condition or receive some medical consultation information or so around a pre-existing condition, and subsequently you would have been diagnosed with one of the critical illness, that pre-existing condition will prevent you from being able to get the benefit. Now, let us say it is that you have been diagnosed with a condition, right? Later after having the plan, right? And it was revealed to you at that point in time that, well, you have this problem and you have had it for a while, but you were not aware of it. It does not constitute as a pre-existing condition, right? So for pre-existing condition, it's only where you have this knowledge that you have this condition, right, and you disclose it to us, then that in that way you will not be entitled to the benefit.
Okay, thank you for that. I have another question from Solange. Can more than one claim be made for different illnesses? For example, cancer, then heart disease, or 2 bouts of cancer?
So you are covered for the 6 critical illnesses. So in terms of cancer, you won't be able to claim for multiple cancers. You'll be able to claim for cancer on a whole, right? In terms of like the multiple critical illnesses, if you have received diagnosis of that, you will be. That is a really, actually never got a question like that. So let me just look into it. And if you can take her information, Adeline, I'll get back to her on that one in terms of how they would treat if it's multiple at the same time in terms of the critical illnesses.
Sure. So Solange, you could probably just send me an email and I will pass on your contact information to Jonelle so she could reach out to you and provide further information. Jonelle, a follow-up question to that. So if someone was diagnosed with cancer, but
Right.
they have been cancer-free for years,
Right.
will they then get coverage for cancer again? Because I know you said that
No.
if you declare it, you will not
Yeah.
get coverage for that
No.
disease.
No. So once you have had a critical illness, you won't get coverage for that critical illness anymore, but you'll get coverage for the remaining. So you'll get coverage then for heart attack, stroke, paralysis, major burns, and coma, but not cancer.
All right. Any other questions? Yes, Celine Felix. Just 1 second. Can you clarify the points on the lifetime premium amount? Example, if someone comes onto the plan under the age of 35 and pay premiums for a specific amount of coverage, it remains locked in at the premium amount until the termination age?
Right. So yeah, when you come in, that premium, the coverage you select, right? That premium, once you don't purchase any additional coverage or anything like that, that premium remains the same until the end of the termination point. It remains the same.
Okay. So if someone has critical illness, has a critical illness plan with another provider,
Right.
can they still join the
Yes.
family critical illness at SECU?
Yes, you can. So how it would work is like, let's say you are diagnosed with a critical illness, you make your claim at the other institution, you make a claim at Canning's Employees Credit Union as well, and you'll be able to benefit from the both plans.
All right, thank you for that. Any other questions? All right, it seems like we have no
Yeah.
more questions. Okay. Are the enrollment forms available online? Celine, no, they are not. You can come into the credit union to enroll.
Yeah, if they check our website as well, they can get the form on our website. Like if they in advance you want to get the form, you can print it off our website and then go into the credit union as well as an option.
Right. I have another question.
Yeah.
Following on the locked-in premiums, how would
Sorry.
following on the locked-in premiums,
Uh-huh.
how would purchasing additional amounts work?
Right. So I enroll. I am taking 100,000 coverage. Let's say my premium is $100, right? I already locked in that, right? Now, 5 years later on, I want to purchase an additional 100,000. At that point, 5 years later on, then the credit union would look at my age now and how much 100,000 premium would cost. That premium is then added to my original premium, and this becomes my new premium.
Any other questions?
Have any more questions?
Nothing at the moment. I will just give persons maybe another minute for questions, and if not, we
Yeah.
would.
But while we wait for questions, I just want to drop a little challenge there to give a prize giveaway for, I hope everyone was paying attention, just a small token. So I want to ask a question, and the first person to give the correct answer in the chat, I will have a special token for you at the credit union. Yeah, so I just want you to list 4 out of the 6 critical illnesses that's being covered under this family critical illness plan. So the first person to get at least 4 of the critical illnesses correct in the chat, Alan, if you can help me.
Well, Marguerite answered one, which is cancer.
Okay, I need
Krishna.
4, at least 4.
Okay, so we have Gina, heart attack, stroke, cancer, paralysis.
Okay,
Solange, cancer, stroke, heart, paralysis.
so the person who got
Lisa,
that before, that's Vina. She was the first
G
person.
Gianna, yeah.
Diana, okay, because she listed 4. So that's
Yeah.
our winner. So thank you very much, Rihanna. Right. And well, Alan, you can tell me if you have any more questions.
No more questions, just lots of answers.
Oh, okay. So you all were paying attention.
All right, well, if there are no other questions, Jonal, you have any more treats to give away?
That's it for now. So I just want to say though, thank you for sharing your lunch hour with me. I know it probably was a little difficult. Some person probably was eating and just listening and so on. So thank you very much. I hope you take advantage of this product that's available at the credit union now. I'm very passionate about this, and our family indemnity plan. I spoke about it in bits a little bit. So if it is that you're not aware of that one either, you can please reach out to the credit union and find out, well, what's that other plan she was talking about, because I think it's very important to have the both plans to protect you and your family. So thank you again, everyone.
Jonal, I just have one additional question before we
Yeah,
close up, and this is
sure.
actually from Nicole. I mean, Nicole is our insurance administrator, so any of you who are planning on enrolling would have to liaise with Nicole. Similarly to the family indemnity plan, Is it that original documents are required for verification purposes?
Yes, because they just need to verify the documents. So you need to come in with your original documents just for them to verify. Because as I would have touched on, when I had certified documents of this is where the credit union needs to kind of stamp and sign it off, confirming to us that they saw the original. So when you're going to them, if you can bring all your original documents, that will be ideal.
Perfect. All right, so Jonah, we wish to thank you for giving up your time to facilitate today's session and for helping our members gain a better understanding of this product and how beneficial it is. For the members, today's session has been recorded and it will be placed on our website, www.mysecu.com, under gallery, along with today's presentation for future reference. We have now come to the end of today's Launch and Learn session, and we would like to thank everyone for joining us, and we do hope that this session has been helpful. We also encourage you to register for our 2 additional upcoming webinars on the 21st of May, Women's Health, facilitated by Dr. Santi LeBlanc, and on the 4th of June, Financing Your Home Ownership with Secu, facilitated by our General Manager, Kellyanne Trabulli Hack. So please be sure to register. Thank you again and have a good afternoon. Goodbye.